Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. And if this is your first time, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. And I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I offer whatever greeting that suits your time zone. So today we're going to see what surprises Thomas Tuchel has for us, because he's proven that when you think player A starts, he fields player B. And let's see, because we've been ravaged by injuries. So most definitely he will ring some changes. What I'm still seeing in the app that I use is probable lineup. Let me know if you've seen the lineup somewhere so we can start talking about it. Again, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. It's always a pleasure to have you guys around. Okay, let me see if the lineup is not out yet. I will share my predicted lineup, which I did before Thomas Tuchel's press conference, and I had Jorginho in there. So after his press conference, I wasn't able to make changes to my predicted lineup. I had to release the video like that. So while we wait, let me know if you've seen the lineup. That would be good. All right, and I hope everybody is doing well today. Big up to you, Steve Chelsea. Always welcome here, my brother. And big up to Jose CFC, my fellow American. I appreciate seeing you here. Yes, people, smash that like button while we wait for the lineup to be released. And if you send the lineup somewhere, please let me know. I'm still checking the fifth stand. I haven't seen anything like that. Match center, let me see. Maybe if I switch to lineups. Lineup drops in 10 minutes. Our game starts, yeah. Oh, it's already there. So who is in goal? Let me know. It hasn't dropped. Say it drops in 10 minutes. No, the lineup drops in 10 minutes. And remember, this is not okay. Bobby Fairview says just came out. Yes, please. If you have it, you can list it and we'll talk about it. In the Chelsea app, it says it will drop in 9 minutes. But let me check the app that I'm using, see. It has a refresh. As you can see, what they have there is still probable lineup. If we had time enough, I'd play the predicted lineup that I have, but I think it will be basically will be useless because I did the predicted lineup before Tuchel's presser, and learning that Jorginho isn't going to be ready for this match, that he's injured or something. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can just drop it in the chat and we'll talk about it while I wait to see if anybody else will join us. And if you're on Twitter, please, you will see a new tweet, which happens automatically after once the stream starts. You can retweet it so that more people can watch the video via Twitter if they choose to. And today, I think today is the 8th. What's today's date? Yes, today is the 8th, and that's what we're approaching the middle of the month. So if we have enough people, we'll do a live giveaway. We've done it, I think, 3 times now. But if we have enough people, we'll do that. Yeah, the lineup just came out. If you can list it for us, but from the Chelsea app, I haven't seen it. It should be out by now because it usually comes out 1 hour before kickoff. I thought it was 6:45 p.m. Okay, let's see. So Kepa starts as most people anticipated. And I don't know why that is. Azpillicueta, Sarr, James, Mount, Barkley, Saul, Cho, Werner, and Lukaku. To me, it doesn't look like we're looking to win this game, but we should be playing to top the table if you ask me. That is a crazy lineup right there. And thank you very much, Bobby Fairview, for producing the list for us. Providing, I should say. Yeah. Mendy, as you can see, Steve isn't in the lineup. Probably needs a break. And if you ask me, I'd also argue that maybe Mendy needs a little reminder. A bit of a competition to remind him that, hey, you can actually drop to the mid. That as a human being, when such happens to you, you will usually you hit the reset button and then learn from your mistakes. But I'd rather have him on the pitch because these things happen even to the best goalkeepers in the world. Manuel Neuer has had some howlers. When you look at them, you will go, what? How did this happen? What's his name? The Manchester United goalkeeper. He's had some howlers too. Then when you look at them, you'd be asking yourself, why is he still at Manchester United? So big name goalkeepers have made some silly mistakes that you sometimes argue they're not supposed to be between the sticks for their respective clubs. But no, you give them time. Goalkeepers do make such mistakes and they learn from it. And I can assure you, Mendy, especially the second goal, especially the first goal, will not make such mistake again. He could have corrected the error by just booting the ball forward, but he tried to guide the ball, and the two West Ham players, they overpowered him, and he had no options than that is putting that slide tackle that led to the penalty. So I wouldn't bench Mendy because, like I said, this is something he learns from and something that will make him an even better goalkeeper. So in a bit, I will put the link in the chat so that if you want to join and express yourself, you're welcome. You're very, very welcome to do so. There you go. Let me get the correct link. Yeah, Bobby, I will come to your question in a bit. There you go, the link to the panel. If you want to join, you can join us and express yourself. Okay, let me read Bobby's question. He has the first question. Steve says, I understand. I think he needs our support. Yeah, he does need our support. But the truth is, sometimes it depends on who you're dealing with. Some managers will let it go and just with the belief that he will learn from it. And that is natural for goalkeepers. For me, I'd let him continue and also make him understand you have competition here. This is not your place for keeps. If you continue making such errors, then you will drop to the bench. And if you look, the truth is, if you look in the previous games, he's starting to look a bit shaky. So truthfully, maybe he needs a bit of a reminder that, look, hey, we have another capable hand that can come in your place and also do a good job. So, yeah. Why do you think this isn't a team to win? Now, if you look at it, I mean, I'm not arguing, but this is not the best team we have. And if left for me, this is what I would do, Bobby. If I'm the one picking this team, I'd pick an experienced team. I'd have Thiago Silva there because the Champions League is a competition with a lesser physicality and pace than the Premier League, and also I mean, I guess you could argue he's just making do with what he has. I would start Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but it's obviously he's not there. And you could say Malang Sarr would do a better job against Leeds United. We know how quick Leeds are. We know how the type of football they play, very high octane. They play high line and they're very quick. So I think this game suits Thiago Silva more than the game against Leeds United, which I'd rather play Andreas Christensen than Thiago Silva in that game. And I'd also, I think Malang Sarr good for this game. I agree. Again, we need to win it. Lukaku, I expected him to start. Honestly, I didn't expect Timo Werner to start. I'd rather have Hakim Ziyech there. He does well in the Champions League. If you followed his progress and how well he's done, I think Hakim Ziyech does better for us in the Champions League. And against Leeds United, you could argue Werner will have a lot of space to eat up and don't do some damage against Leeds United, because they play. When you play against Leeds United, you have a lot of spaces to exploit. Yeah, let me take the questions one by one. Again, says, good evening, brother. Good evening to you, Kamal Fashion. Welcome to the stream. Always a pleasure to have you guys around. And listen, I have the link in the chat in case if you want to join and voice your opinion, you're welcome to do so. Now, Bobby says, I think that Mendy was going to sit this one out even before his West Ham performance. You could argue that because the truth is Mendy will most definitely leave for AFCON in January. And you don't have to wait until he leaves before you start fielding, what's his name? Kepa Arrizabalaga. He needs to start getting game time and then be match fitness. And then when Mendy leaves, the transition will be seamless. Because if you just wait until Mendy leaves for AFCON before you bring him in, then the change will be abrupt, and that could be a problem. So I think your argument makes sense for me. I am really surprised, and clearly we're playing 4 at the back today. 4-3-3 is a formation we are deploying, and that's new. Maybe Tuchel, you could argue it's been a bit experimental. And until he came to Chelsea, I've always known him to play multiple formations, even in a single game. There are games you could argue that Tuchel played about 3 different formations or even more. So, yeah, I think you could argue he's experimenting because there's been calls for him to, try out 4 at the back, and then that is creating the possibility to have more people in the attack and accommodate players like Hakim Ziyech, Cho, who are well suited for this particular formation. Yeah, so let's look at the back 4 right now while I wait to see if anybody else joins me in the panel so that we can debate the lineup. Kepa for sure will establish why it's important that he starts getting some game time before Mendy leaves for AFCON, so that the transition isn't abrupt. If the transition is seamless, then we're good to go. If you wait till Mendy leaves, it will seem as if he only gets to play because Mendy has left for AFCON, and that's not good for his confidence. Now let's look at Ty. Welcome to the stream, brother.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
How are you doing?
You can hear me, right?
Crystal clear. Yeah, I can hear you. So what have you
good.
Time?
I mean, to a lot of people, it will seem like it's a weak team, but obviously it's necessary.
It seems like that. It seems like that to me, if you ask me.
It seems what?
A weak team.
It seems like a weak team to you.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's on this. You have to understand in this case, we don't have Jorginho, really, we can really play him, and I mean you have to rest certain players like Thiago Silva, for example. So it's not the most favorable selection, but you have to take it into consideration that we have to rest certain players. We have to be cautious. But I mean, I said this previously. If it's a case where you care about finishing top because you get a easier, or you have a better chance of not getting the likes of Bayern Munich, things like that, then I can understand this. But I mean, we've already qualified. You have to take this. You have to take things like this into consideration, because we can't be playing with our best players and then they get injured. For example, Rudiger has been playing game after game. And we saw what happened to Chalobah. He was playing game after game, and he injured his hamstring. So we have to be cautious. It's not. I'm not saying that I like it. I wish we didn't have to, but we have to select this team because we have to rest players.
Yeah, I do agree with you that we have to be cautious. And then again, we've already qualified. But you know what happens if we don't top the table. which means if we don't top the table, it will mean that we will be meeting a strong team in the next round of the Champions League. So we're better off topping our table to meet a team that comes second in another group. Do you now understand why I'm concerned? So it's not done and dusted for us. We still have work to do to make sure we top the table at the end of the day. And I think, I'm not sure which one comes first. I don't know if head-to-head comes first before goal difference. I think goal difference comes into consideration before head-to-head. So now we need to win by at least a lot of goals, because Juventus will most probably get a good result. Now, are they home today?
I'm trying to
You're
remember.
not sure.
I think probably.
Yeah, but you get the point. Even if they're playing away, I think they will get a good result today. So we're better off playing our best team, win the game, win by at least a good margin to add to our goals tally. And then you could argue if at the end, then we'll top the table at the end of the day, and then play a second, a team that comes second in another group, and not. So we don't want to risk that. So the deeper we go into the competition, the more we have the chances to win it. So I don't think we cannot just relax and say, okay, we've won this one, and then put out an experimental lineup. Why? I'm not saying this is not, I'm not going to argue this is really that this is a weak team, because these are and these are very, very good players. But if you look at what we have there, you could argue with the likes of Malang Sarr, in one of the two center halves there, we don't have experience there, and they don't have proper protection. Because if you look at the second, was it the second goal we conceded against, the second goal we conceded against, what's his name, West Ham United? It was lack of protection, because had Kante been there, or if we had a defined, you could argue, defensive midfielder like Kante, that guy I don't think will get the chance to shoot from that range. That game, if you rewatch it, was literally won in the midfield. So there's no proper protection for our defense here. And the temperature there is going to be against us, because we're not used to that weather. They're used to it. You get my point now. So my argument is we don't have proper protection for our defense. We have Saul Niguez there. We have Barkley to the right-hand side and Mount in the middle, which is in his preferred position. So I want to get your thoughts, Ty. Tell me, do you think defensively would be good? Yeah, so could this be a 3-4-3 with Mount and Barkley as the pivot, with Saul as left wing back? Possibly. But what I'm looking at on the screen doesn't look like it's a 3-4-3. It looks like a 4-3-3 formation to me at this point. And that's what the places I've seen the lineup, they are portraying it as as a 4-3-3 formation. So that's possibly with that's possibly what it is, but I'm not really sure at this point. But we'll see how it is applied when the game starts. Then we'll get to really understand what formation it is really. Yeah. So, but if you have any other question, you could go ahead and put it in the chat, and now we'll look at it. And so let's have the conversation. Yeah, it is. I mean, look, Lukaku flanked by Timo Werner and Callum Hudson Odoi means he will get a lot of service. Callum Hudson Odoi puts in good crosses, and he has good vision in terms of passes. He can create chances too. Although why people argue that he hasn't scored as many goals as they thought he'd score once he started playing in his preferred position. I mean, he created a few chances that the strikers didn't put away, because he looks up, and that's one thing I like about him. Timo Werner also can put in some good crosses on the carpet and in the air. So I think it's designed to make sure Lukaku gets good services in this game from both players that are on his flanks to create more chances for him so that he scores. Yeah. So yeah, let's see how he goes. So Ty, are you still there? Let me know if you are still there. Yeah, that's another possibility with James in the DM role with Cho at right wing back and Saul at left wing back. I don't know. Some people have talked about how when Saul played the left wing back position for Simone at Atletico Madrid, I haven't seen him play in that position, and I'm not sure how good he is at this. I'm not sure how about his pace, and I'm not sure his defensive abilities. So, I mean, for the Champions League, you could try him in that position, and I'd argue that he will do well. And one thing is this: I think Saul is actually a good player, but the problem is his versatility has been detrimental to his, you know, development. You could say he's gone past that development level. You could say his versatility has been detrimental to his career overall. He hasn't played in a defined position. Simone has played him in a number of positions, and that he came to Chelsea to see if he will establish himself as a defined midfielder. But it doesn't look there's an opportunity for him there, and he's had the chance to stake a claim or to show that he can really execute a midfield position very well. And yeah, hopefully, let's see if the formation is really 4-3-3. Let's see how well he does today, because the truth is we have a large squad, but we have a large squad with most of which are not unique. The issue with our squad is that most of our players do uh, play with space, and without space, they don't quite operate well. We lack players who are capable of taking on opposition players, except for Chocho does that. No matter we lack players such as players in the mode of you could say not Eden Hazard, who's capable of taking on opposition players. If you like pack the boss, if you like defend deep, if you like press us aggressively, yeah. So we lack that caliber of players. Kovacic does that sometimes because he's press resistant. He can move forward with the ball no matter how you press him or how many of you are on him trying to get him to lose the ball. So yeah, I think while we have a deep squad, we have a serious problem. We lack that type of player that's capable of pulling the rabbit out of the hat and help us win games when opposition defend deep or when they press us aggressively. So go ahead, keep bringing your questions while we wait to see if anybody gets a chance to join us in the panel. Yeah, Malang Sarr playing as one of the two central defenders is a surprise for me, because his specialty, I think you could argue, is on the left side, but apparently he's one of the two central defenders. In my predicted lineup, I had Cezar Azpillicueta starting as a left wing back player for us. So where he is right now isn't far fetched from my predicted lineup. And I think he's played in the left hand side quite a lot. That was a season, I think, under Jose Mourinho, where throughout the season, I think he played in that position. And he's a versatile player and capable of executing whatever position the coach deploys him. So I'm not really concerned about Azpilicueta as a left back. He's played there before, and he brings experience. He brings defensive stability. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes today. And just really not I'm just really not happy with the setup of the midfield. If the formation is really 4-3-3, to me, we will have a serious problem. And yeah, let's see. So remember, guys, I have the link in the chart. In case you have the time, please do join us to debate the lineup. Ross Barkley, I'm not surprised that he started in that position. I think he's played there quite a lot, even at Everton. I think at Everton he played on the right-hand side of the midfield. I think he will do well there. I'm just concerned that there is no proper protection for our defenders, excuse me. It's interesting. Bobby's suggestion here, could this be a 3-4-3 with Mount and Barkley as the pivot? We're not sure. We're not. Well, I must tell you, I'm not sure of the application. I'm still looking at it to see. Even with Mount and Barkley as the pivot, I think we still have a big problem there. There's no protection for the defense. Again, I'd argue that. And again, we must remember these guys are home, and the weather is a problem for us. So that's a plus for them. Plus, yeah, they want the result. They want the result. So why wouldn't they play a first 11? Again, I think Saul would do well there because if that's the setup, he's not where he is right now. Isn't far-fetched from playing as a left wing back player that people say he played in that position for Atletico Madrid. So I think, again, Lukaku, this is his opportunity to get a goal and restart his season because he started very well for us. But here's the thing. They say numbers don't lie, and I will always argue that people usually don't realize that signing a player is just a phase of the process of that is bringing in the player. Another phase of it is the integration aspect, which is the most critical. And to properly integrate a player into a team, these are two things must happen. It's either the team changes the way it plays to accommodate the player, or the player changes the way he plays to adapt to the system that the team plays. So now, neither of the two has happened. We haven't changed the way we play. Big up to you, Almighty Blues FC. We haven't changed the way we play, and Lukaku also hasn't adapted to the way we play. So either of the two needs to happen for Lukaku to be properly integrated into the team. And if you ask me, I'd rather us continue playing the way we play. We play more as a unit. We're not relying on a single individual to be the goal scorer for us. If you're in the chat, please, I have the link in the chat. So if you have time, you can join us and let's debate the lineup. You're always welcome. So now, I'd rather us continue playing the way we play, which is Thomas Tuchel's way. Everybody gets this. That goal scoring is not the responsibility of a single person. So now, Lukaku either adapts to being part of the team, and not whenever he's on the pitches, it just seemed as if the players on the flanks in the midfield, all they do is look for Lukaku. That makes us very predictable, and that limits. If you've been following our game, you would notice that whenever Lukaku is on the pitch, it just seems as if Reece James's responsibilities is just limited to finding Lukaku in the 18-yard box, and that limits his contributions. That limits his his urge to go forward and then get in the box, score goals. But in the absence of Lukaku, he's gotten into the box and has scored quite a few goals. And if you look at it, our team seemed more fluid in his absence, and we played. That is great chemistry between the players on the pitch because everybody gets into the box. It's not a matter of when you get the ball, you start looking for the point man, either to cross it for him on the carpet or in the air to put the chances away. So I think, I don't know how we're going to solve that problem. And if you ask me, I'd say Lukaku has actually created more problems for us than he's solved for us, because last season before we bought him, we created quite a lot of chances, and we scored all the chances we had last season would win the league. And something happened under Frank Lampard. But We brought in Lukaku in to help us put away the chances. Now, whenever he's on the pitch, we create less chances and not as many chances as we create when he's not on the pitch. So that begs the question: how do we solve that problem? It's a difficult one.
I have an answer to that. I think I
Yes,
do.
go ahead.
Um, people tend to say that we have more fluidity without him, and I agree with that to some point. The reason why that is because you don't have a central striker or a player who's playing as a striker who's going to be trying to stay in the center. We have Kai Havertz as a false nine, who is also in the build up, not only trying to score goals or trying to be on the receiving end of passes and crosses or whatever the case may be, but he's also a person trying to create as well for his other counterparts, like the other two people who'd be in the front three or whatever, wing backs and whatever the case is with Lukaku. And I think that does really show the positions in entirely correct, because Reece James is supposed to be playing in the midfield, and if that's the case, Reece James could be like a temporary answer to what we really have an issue with when Lukaku is playing. Lukaku is a striker, and he reminds me a bit of Diego Costa in a sense where we used to play possessive football on the Conte at some point, and
Mm-hmm.
then and Jose Mourinho as well. I can also remember that. But the difference between Diego Costa and Lukaku now is that Diego Costa had Fabregas, somebody who understood him, someone who could make those passes. Because what Costa used to do, he would get back, try to receive the ball, and then run at the defenders and try to score goals. And we've seen Lukaku score 2 goals like in that fashion. The Aston Villa game, that pass Kovacic made, he did that and he scored. We don't have somebody who's going to consistently do that. Now, some people will say, why won't Lukaku just try to get the ball, try to get to the midfield, try to receive the ball there, pass the ball, and then try to get into the box and things like that. The thing is, people tend to forget when you're used to playing in a counter-attacking team where what you do is they don't really care about having the ball at their feet all the time. You're not going to be able to just switch your playing style just like that and say, I'm going to do this, because when he used to playing it, and he plays every team that he's been at since before he came back to Chelsea have all been counter-attacking teams. Belgium are counter-attacking. Everton were counter-attacking, and they still are in some cases. Man United at some point they were counter-attacking. So it's not simple, and he's in a possession-based team. And when I realized that we signed him, I thought we would have changed our system, because our system doesn't suit him. When if you're gonna spend the amount that you spent on Lukaku, obviously it has to be a case where you're trying to suit him. You're trying to find some way to get the best out of him. And currently, we're not getting the best out of him because we're not playing a system that really suits him. We're playing too possessive. We're trying to keep the ball at our feet, try to win more, and most of the time we're not doing anything with the possession. So it's kind of pointless. You have to sacrifice some of the possession with the case of Lukaku.
Okay, let me ask you this. Now, do you agree that we created more chances? That's obvious, and we scored more goals in its absence, right? So now, would you rather have him on the pitch with us creating less chances and scoring less goals?
That's uh let me get this straight. You want me to answer? Would I
Yeah, you have to
prefer
answer because
him
the
to?
truth
No,
is, yeah.
no. I'm asking what you're
Big
asking
up,
to answer.
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Big up to Blue Clouds TV, my brother. I love you, and I appreciate you finding time to even contribute in the chat, even though you're live streaming. And I love you so much that if I am free, I will always be in your chat. That's how much I love you, bro. And thank you very much. Oh, Habat is in the house. Habat, if you have time, the link is in the chat. You can join us the debate about the lineup. I appreciate your presence and welcome to Chelsea Perspective, brother. I love you so much. Even though you're a Manchester United fan, I think you're secretly a Chelsea fan. Go ahead, Ty.
I was asking you if you wanted me to answer. Would I prefer him playing.
See it here. We've established that's we've seen it. They say numbers don't lie, and in the absence of Lukaku, we scored more goals, we've created more chances.
100%,
and whenever
100%.
he's on the pitch, our attack seems to be rigid. We create less chances. We're not going to talk about his ability or how bad his touch is. We're just talking, and I'm not by any means saying he's a bad player. We're just looking at the contrast between his presence and his absence in the team. So the question is now, you'd rather us change our system and focus to the fact that we have a point man and then not be as effective as we've been. And honestly, had we been patient and not spent so much money on an attacker, it would just by the time you know it, these guys will start scoring goals like they did, like we started seeing. Or maybe you could argue maybe the signing of Lukaku pushed them. Possibly. So what do you think? That's just want to get your opinion. It's not a question. I just want to get your opinion. What do you think about that situation? Because it's a very, very difficult problem to solve right now. Switch the system to accommodate, change our style of play to accommodate him, then we will be creating less chances. Will he be important in some games? Of course, there are games where his presence will scare the heck out of the opposition defenders. And then if he's learned to find a way to cause problems for opposition defenders so that other players will start scoring, fine. But the problem is that it looks like even his presence even gets into the heads of his teammates that all they do is look for him. So over to you, Ty. Tell me, how do we solve this problem? Because it's a serious one.
What we're saying is that I think that this, I wasn't only saying that we need to change the system just because we have Lukaku. I'm sure we've seen that we have lots of players who are not able to play games consistently because the formation or the system doesn't suit them and it doesn't play to their strengths. What we did, we switched our formation and everything, and it suits certain players, it hid their weaknesses. What I'm saying is that I'm not sure what they're going to do because, like you rightfully said it seems like they're intimidated by his presence. Ever since he's arrived, they're always trying to get the ball to him. And they sometimes
even subconsciously, that's my argument. He's changed their mindset on the way they play. All they do is look for him. So go ahead.
In that case, they may have to find some way to, I don't know, get it drilled into their head that if you have an opportunity, the best thing to do is to take a shot, take the risk. Not because you have Lukaku means that you should change what you're doing. You should create for him, but don't let every opportunity that you have be a chance that he's going to be scoring. Try to score, and that's something that we lack. We lack that ruthlessness when he's on the field. I don't know why. It's like when we don't have him, we have a field day. The Norwich game showed it. We're being ruthless. We kept taking shots. We're taking risks. But with Lukaku there, it's straight. I don't really know how to answer it because, I mean, it has to do with what's happening in training, what's happening behind the scenes, and I can't tell you what's happening behind the scenes. But I do think that they need to get into their heads that not because he's on the field, they should just be creating for him. Try to score goals. Try to add to your goal tally.
That is the thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I have to say, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you just said right now. That is the biggest problem that you could say that we're yet to solve. Because it's too risky to say, okay, we have to change the way we play to accommodate Lukaku. Then we'll be creating less chances. Then also Lukaku himself, to adapt to the way we play, which is the number 9, has to always, that is, get more involved in the play and not just wait for the crosses and not just wait for the crosses on the carpet or in the air. That is the issue. He's argued himself that he hates that tag, point man. That's not what he is. But look, we don't have Lautaro Martinez. We don't have, what's the Moroccan international that plays for PSG right now? We don't have that guy. Hakimi. We don't have those guys. And I did make a video with Tyrone, my very good friend and a brother who's always helped the channel so much. We made a video where I asked them, I told them, we don't have Hakimi, we don't have Lautaro Martinez. How is Lukaku going to work? Because I've also had the argument that if you look at the way Tuchel plays at PSG, whatever team he's coached, it's not, goal scoring isn't just the responsibility of the number 9 man. You'd have the ability, you'd have to be able to get involved in the team play, create chances for your teammates when you can score. And that hasn't been the case. You get my argument right now, Ty. Even when he's tried to get involved in the play, we lose the ball easily. I'm not by any chance talking about his ball control or how. That's not the argument right now.
I get what you mean.
Exactly. So that is a big problem for us. If we, again, I'm beginning to sound like a broken record right here now. If we try to accommodate him as a point man, whether he likes it or not, that's the type of striker he is. That's where he does better. Create chances for him and he puts them away. Whether he likes it or not, he is not an all-round player. So which means there's not that possibility for him to be starting every game for Chelsea. There are games that suit him, that will suit his style of play well. I don't know what you have to say, Ty.
I was gonna say something and I forgot. Oh, yeah, I know. What I was gonna say is, I find it quite weird. I think people are saying that Holland was the better option and things like that. In a sense, you can understand because he does have that ability that we want to do, and that brings me back to, was Lukaku the player that Tuchel really wanted? Because Holland is somebody who you'd say he has the attributes that we need right now to, have that 9, being in the build-up, having the ball, pass the ball, and not be losing the ball by a misplaced pass or things like that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I can remember the 2 strikers we had before, Giroud and Sammy. They tried to do the exact same thing and they failed. So I'm wondering if it's a case where you're used to playing a certain way. You don't have those attributes that you can just quickly change your mind and say, I'm going to be trying to create this way. I'm going to try to make passes and, not try to just rely on the crosses coming to me and just be a target man, or a goal hanger. But I don't know. Lukaku just doesn't have the attribute. It's not something that you cannot develop, but it's not going to be easy. And I mean, look, it does. At this time,
I didn't mean to cut you off, Ty. At this point in his career, in his playing career, this is not something he can change now. He has to just come to terms that this is what suits me best. Because I'd argue this with anybody you can bring from the Chelsea community. Lukaku is in no way a complete striker. He's a reputable striker. He has good reputation, but you'd have to. And then again, that brings me back to the argument. I think it was with HH that I said in one of my videos when we're still looking for strikers, I said, look, first thing is to sign a striker, a player. The second aspect of that player's career at the new club is either the player adapts to the way you play, or you change the way you play to accommodate the player. And like I said before, neither of the two has happened. So coming to you, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective, my brother, Ankit. Now, before we continue, Ankit, let's just look at the statement here. That's an excellent point. He claims he doesn't want to be a hold-up player, but yet still, that's the only option he offers the team with his play. Absolutely. And that's the argument for me. That's right on point. That's the only thing he does well for us, and that doesn't work all the time, which means he's not going to play all the time. So go ahead to you, Ankit.
Yeah, then that's an excellent point for Bobby Fairview, and like you've been telling as well, Coachila, on the channel, honestly, one aspect that maybe I disagree is that Lukaku actually has more to his game than what he realizes he has. for some reason, I don't know. Like you remember the earlier games, right? Against Aston Villa, the goal that he scored, like he bamboozled their defense totally, and he scored a screamer. And that doesn't kind of it's not a one-off. Like he has it in him, but yeah, big up to Josh Viola. But definitely, in terms of what he's got to the team after coming back from injury, bang on, because he for some reason all he's trying to do is he's trying to pin the defender with his back to goal, and that is not his game, and he admits that. Then why is he even trying that? Like he should be trying to open up the space. He's someone who kind of as in runs off the defender, and someone who's able to do that. He kind of has it in him, trust me, like he has it in him. He does that for Belgium all the time. He is not someone who plays as a traditional number 9. Like actually, I went on a channel this week and I went on record saying that when he's not in form, he looks like an Emil Heskey. When he's in form, he looks like a Didier Drogba. You know what I mean? So in terms of no disrespect to obviously Emil Heskey, but in terms of basically not really being involved in the gameplay as much, he needs to do a little bit more. But yes, he's kind of contradicting himself, Lukaku, that is, by coming up with a statement, because he
Yeah, that's
definitely
true.
hopefully he will do. Like maybe the fact that he's not played enough balls to learn what he wants right now, and maybe he'll get back that confidence. It's about basically, I think Mason Mount is the key. Like Mason Mount is someone who can gel well with anyone. Like he's that kind of a player, right? So again, coming to the lineup, I'm sure Chelsea perspective, Coachila, you'll ask me, brother, but I am shocked. I was actually going back and looking at the lineup 2-3 times whether I got the right lineup or not.
Yeah, I was shocked too when I saw it. Again, I said let's one thing that that stood out for me when I saw it is the lack of protection for the defense. Andreas Christensen is experienced, but he's not the most experienced. And if we really, let me just share this. If we're really set up like the way we're looking at it right now, if we're set up to play the way it is showing right now, there's no protection for the defense, which is an issue. And then again, we must remember that these guys are home. And the temperature there is literally freezing.
Minus 17 or something, right? If I'm not wrong.
Exactly. So already they have.
I don't think it is like that.
You don't think?
Yeah, I think it's three. I think it's 3 at the back and probably a 3-5-2 with Reece James in the midfield. I think that's maybe it.
Midfield, okay.
If that's the way it is, then with James in the midfield, then the defense has a bit of a protection, because we don't really have experience right there. If you ask me, Azpillicueta is on the flank, and he's not central. So I'm not sure the setup. Nobody's sure about the structure. Nobody.
Sorry to cut you there, brother.
No, go ahead.
I feel that it may be a 3-5-2 again. Like we are all kind of just kind of throwing our darts, and who knows if Thomas Tuchel what is going to play. But he actually played Hudson Odoi. I know it was just for a few minutes, but he played him at left wing back, and probably he's one of them who kind of would believe in continuity. I believe so, because he's a young chap. He doesn't want to change him every game in terms of the position. So I feel that Hudson Odoi will play left wing back. Saul will tuck in midfield, because imagine a Mount and a Barkley midfield. Like, come on, that's too lightweight. I know that in terms of basically Barkley has strength and all that, but he's not like a DM, and neither is Mount. So Saul is someone who kind of can play that role. He has played that role previously, as in briefly for Atletico Madrid. So I feel that probably that is 3 in midfield will probably offer more protection to Saul. So it's more to protect Saul than anything else. And Reece James on the right wing back and Hudson Odoi on the left wing back, more like wingers. That's what my guess is. But if that's right, I would love to see Timo Werner playing off Lukaku, because that is when probably, hopefully, either of them thrives. So that's something that I'm looking for.
This thing is just everywhere. I refreshed it. If you look at it now, it's just switched up a bit. So I think they're still not sure of the structure, if you ask me. Can you see it now? You see how they switched it right now? So they're still not, they're still, the fourth mob guys are still not sure of the structure. As it is right now, they brought Hudson Odoi to the middle, Barkley to his right. I think this is more like it, if you ask me. But there's something, this may be it. This actually could be the way he wants to deploy them. Can you see the lineup here now?
Oh
James have
man.
switched.
I feel like it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I think probably this is it. I think it's either 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1-2.
Yeah, he switched again. Yeah. So James is not in the midfield. James is in his position. Sarr to the left. Sarr, I don't have anything to argue. Sarr being on the left, but I think we're trying. Yeah, I think Barkley. Yeah, what do you think, Ankit? Yeah, switch. They switched. I think they found the correct formation. And Bobby, I don't think James will be in the midfield because
Yes, even I don't think so. Because we don't have any wing backs. Like he's the only natural wing back that is there on the pitch. Honestly speaking, like natural wing back. He's the only one who can really play that role to perfection. And we need at least one player on the wings to deliver to Lukaku. So I think James should stay on the wing, if you ask me. But yeah, in terms of midfield, like if Saul was in form, this was a very good lineup. But I am still concerned for Saul because of the confidence level. I know it's Europe, but at the end of the day, it is away. So I don't know, like how physical Zenit are going to be because their centre backs are physical. We know that, right? That might kind of bring in Mount in midfield. So they might just go the same thing, but with Mount tucked in midfield. When we don't have the ball, like that's what I would say.
Do you see the statement here? That's good to see. It says the roof is closed and the pitch is temperature controlled. So that's perfect to hear. So so temperature isn't an issue. So yeah, good. But as if the structure is like this, I think Bobby is still arguing something here. He says, where is it? He says something. Cho will play right wing back. And then it's everywhere right now. We're not sure of the structure maybe until the game starts.
Reece James
now,
might be left wing back for all you know.
It's it's very possible because again, like we've argued before here, the primary responsibility of our wing backs isn't to defend. They're always forward. We're set up in a way that even when they're not back to her support the defense, there's always somebody in the midfield would drift to the side and then take up that position and help us defend. Even if you remember the game, the Champions League final against Manchester City, remember the position of what's his name? Chilwell first, who dropped it with the one time. He was up. He wasn't even close to the 18-yard box. So I think the way we Tuchel deploys them, their primary responsibility isn't to defend. So let's assume that the structure is like this. What do you think, Ty?
About what?
The structure is like this, with Sarr on the left, and that keeps Sarr, play Sarr there rather than playing him as a central defender. I think he would do well there. He's played there before and he didn't make too many mistakes. What do you think if the structure is like this with Saul Niguez and Barkley as a double pivot, the two players of which you could argue they both have a lot of mistakes in them? Over to you, Ty.
I guess Sarr isn't really an issue. If he can continue to improve on what he did. Obviously, he made one small mistake and that was it. But I don't know. I still don't feel this. The formation looks a bit weird to me. I kind of feel like Saul Niguez is playing as a left wing back, and it's probably different. I don't know. It's a bit weird, but I think I don't really like how it looks. It looks a bit weird. I think that with that being the case, it just looks so weird.
It is weird because Malcolm.
Malcolm and Claudinho, I think, are key to Zenit's attacks. So again, they have nothing to lose. They might as well go for the attack this game. Like I in the first leg, they caused us problems, Claudinho and Malcolm. So that is the whole reason I feel that our wing backs like kind of need to be in the wings because as not only can we basically attack, but we need to defend as well this game because they are at home, like you said. So we definitely, would need someone of a proper wing back, mentality. So that is Reece James. So Reece James, again, I am convinced that he'll stay there. I don't see any issues there. I know we just joked around him being left wing back. Hope not. But on the left wing back, basically, as in maybe I think as Tai says, like maybe Saul will play there because
He
he's
is
played
gonna play there.
more, yeah, as in because of the defensive mentality compared to Hudson Odoi. But because of the last game, Hudson Odoi played towards the end, that left wing back position after Pulisic came on. So I actually feel that he might just go for that because again these are not players who play in week out. So for them at least a little bit of continuity is required, considering we've already had so many changes in the team, in the personnel. So that's what I believe. But yeah, in terms of their defense, obviously the key in our attack is I think Mason Mount to open them up and Timo to play off Lukaku. So again, Lovren he will go for his traditional fouls, and I think Rakitsky I think is good in the air. So the idea is about Mason Mount getting the space that he needs, and I think we should be good. But again, I am very surprised not to see Ziyech. Like I don't know, time and again we have seen that whenever Ziyech kind of plays well, he's dropped. I don't get that
Yeah,
at all. Like to be honest.
I
Yes,
don't know.
yes. So
I'm
why were they? Can you please, you and Ty, please check, and everybody in
Yeah,
the
I just
chat,
checked.
can you check your
Yeah,
Twitter
I just saw
DM?
it.
Just Viola,
I
I
was about
also
to
sent you.
go
Okay,
for it.
just Viola, I also sent something to your Twitter DM. So please, if you guys can just share that quickly, so that we'll see if more people can join us, and we'll do the month's giveaway today if we have enough people in the house. So go ahead, Ankit. Yeah. Now, let me ask you this question, Ankit. Now, are you concerned about lack of protection for the defense? Because you could argue the second goal we conceded against West Ham United was as a result of lack of DM in place to read the game. Because although it takes that is a knowledgeable football mind to understand that that game was won in the midfield. Yes, we had Ruben Loftus-Cheek who progresses the ball very well, who can pull off some slick move, and you go, wow, this guy is good. But we did not do well in that midfield. To me, that game was lost in the midfield.
Yeah, it's a very, very fair call. Having said that, I think one key element in our defense has been Thiago Silva in recent weeks. So whenever he has played, at least the defense has looked slightly better. I know even he's made mistakes in the recent game, but him not being there, plus like you said, the midfield not having a natural DM is definitely a big concern in this game. But again, maybe Tuchel, going by the first leg, has come to the conclusion that Zenit are not as strong in central attacking midfield, but they are very strong on the wings. So that's why maybe let's hope that again I'm assuming again going by my prediction that this would be a 3-5-2, and that is why he's having two wing backs proper on the wings to kind of protect our wings more so compared to our central midfield. And he wants to attack from the midfield, is what I'm assuming, which is a pleasant change from the recent weeks because I know that it's been great our wing backs, but at the end of the day, we are starting to concede. So there is something that needs to be changed, just a slight tweak. So that's what I'm assuming is gone for in this game.
Mm. Okay, great explanation right there. You sold it to me, but I'm still concerned. And again, let me ask you this now. Now, this just Viola says Tuchel did mention one of his previous presses that he is going to experiment with Saul as left wing back player. Now, is this a game to experiment with? Because we are at risk of exactly of Juventus peeping us off the top of the group, and then we have a problem. And we are in a situation where we're not sure what player would be able to bring in January or not. So if we face a strong team in the second round, we are at risk of getting eliminated from the competition. So isn't this the right time to play the best team and show we top the table? And then, I mean, what's your thought?
Yeah, I know. Tai, you want to go first or okay? I see. For me, in terms of experimentation, yes, I was assuming that he will make changes. He's gone on record saying in the press conference as well, and it's understandable because we are having like I think something like 9 games in 27 days or something. It might be even more. So considering all that, and the fact that our league position has dropped off, immediate priority kind of becomes a league, at least for now, if at all, if there's a priority, right? And of course, take into consideration the injuries we've got. So Tuchel wants to play circumspect and wants to rotate a bit. But like you said, like all it needs is for us to draw. As in, everyone kind of feels that we are playing Zenit, it's easy, it's a cakewalk. No, it's not. Even at home, we struggle to beat them, and it is Zenit away in bitter cold. So for me, definitely, it'll be an issue, kind of, taking it easy. If we draw and Juventus win, that is that is the end of it. We are second, and we might play Bayern Munich in the second leg. And I know everyone kind of feels that second round, hey, whoever we get doesn't matter. Trust me, it matters. Like I go on every stream on the channel. You know that, Coachila, that I mention it Barkley's penalty every stream, because that penalty kind of haunts me. Because as a Chelsea fan, I know that we kind of are spoiled in terms of competitions, but we obviously want to go to the finals. Yes, we want to beat all the teams, but why do we need to just accept being second and playing Bayern Munich? I know we might as well get PSG if we finish top as well. That might be a possibility, but again, there is less probability of having that. So why not go for it? And again, winning is a mentality. We want to keep that momentum. Of course, we've not got that momentum. We want to get back to momentum, is what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you. That is, mentality is important, and we should go for it and win it. And if you're arguing that, which of the two games, this game or that of our game against Leeds United, is tougher, let's look at it this way. Now, that is the yawning contrast between the Premier League and the Champions League in terms of pace and physicality is something you don't even have to look twice to see. So that's why I'm arguing I'd rather have Christensen play against Leeds United than him playing against in the Champions League in this crucial game, because he's quicker, although Thiago Silva is more experienced, and for Thiago Silva, you wouldn't even get the chance to race against him, let alone bypass him, because he reads the game so well. You wouldn't even get a chance to do that. But I'd say still play Thiago Silva in this game, which is a game of a lesser physicality and pace. So in the Premier League, Christensen can do a good job against Leeds United, given usually they play a high-octane game, and whether you like it or not, you'd have to try and combat their the speed at which they play, the pace, the physicality, or they will destroy you. It's either you run like them or they will destroy you, because you wouldn't even get the chance to keep the ball too long. That's the truth. So why not play Christensen in the game against Leeds United, and also have Rudiger play this one so that we get this one done, put the points in the bank, top the table, go into the weekend knowing, okay, done and dusted. The Champions League is done and dusted. Now, let's tackle the Leeds United game. So we should be playing our best game here. In all sense, this game is just, it looks like, and remember, whenever the changes is this many, we usually witness that is a disjointed performance from our team. It just seems like you just bring in 11 players who hasn't played together before and then throw them in there to go represent Chelsea. That's usually my concern. Bobby says sensible starting lineup. I don't think we have much choice, to be honest.
Yeah,
maybe that's the case.
I don't think we have a choice. I don't agree with playing Rudiger, because Rudiger has played game after game without any rest. We saw, I said this earlier in the stream as well, we saw what happened to Chalobah when he was playing game after game. He had a hamstring injury. It's not impossible for Rudiger to have the same situation. We've seen scares like that happen with him in recent games as well. So I wouldn't take that risk. I know people are saying that it's important to get the Champions League game done and dusted, get top of the table, but at the same time, you have to be cautious and you have to be careful. I know that it's a case where we want to avoid certain teams, but at the same time, anything can happen. No matter what, we could get Sporting. I know we can't get them, but I'm saying we could get them, and we still lose. So that logic doesn't really make sense to me, because it doesn't matter who you get, you can still get eliminated by whatever team. You have to be careful. You can't be playing your best players just because you're fearful and then risk them getting injured. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with doing that, because you put yourself at risk.
Again, but then again, don't you think that this is too many changes?
Yes, it is,
is
but
the
at the same
argument.
time, we don't have any choice. You can't be playing half fit players. You have to give them more time to rest so they can be more prepared. You can't just play the team just because you're fearful. It wouldn't be smart. You just be setting up yourself for failure, because they could have haulers of games as well. They could perform terrible. So I just don't think it's good to make those risks. So I think we just have to hope for the best with this team. I don't agree with it. I wish we didn't have to play it, but you have to understand that it has to do with cautiousness.
Well, I don't think, like, first of all, like, for sure, when anyone kind of says that, we have to kind of get top spot as a priority, I, for once, for sure, I believe that no Chelsea fan is fearful. Like, let's get that right. Like, Ty, I would like to correct you there for sure. Definitely, we are not fearful. I think it is smart to kind of try and finish top. Simply put, that is smarter. Yes, not at the cost of getting injured, not at the cost of basically affecting a league performance over the weekend. And I totally get that. Like, I agree to Bobby's point, and I kind of agree with Ty in the sense that, okay, maybe it's a travel which Tuchel is taken into consideration, because at the end of the day, we are traveling to Zenit and etc. So that is the main reason why he feels that maybe this 11 are not going to play against Leeds. Let me put out 11 who are kind of as in raring to go, at the same time are not able to play Leeds, right? As in, that is what he's gone with. But again, I kind of disagree with so many changes as well. Like, for me, there is a balance between the two. There has to be, like, I was thinking the other way around, like what Coachila said. Like, I was thinking that he would probably play Thiago Silva today and maybe Christensen at the weekend. But again, like, the other way around, I won't be too disappointed either. But for me, like, I know we can all, kind of, say that, hey, we are very brave. We want to play the best teams out there. Of course, we want to play the best teams out there. But no, I don't, trust me. Like, I've seen so many Champions League that I know that, as a matter of fact, if we had finished top, we would have probably got an easier team. And let's get it right. Every Champions League win
Yep.
requires some amount of luck, and
Yep.
we kind of build our luck. So we have to be smart.
Yeah, we have to be smart in our approach to, and again, it brings me to, is that a flaw in Tite's approach where he doesn't play his strongest 11 for the game in front of him? I would call it, to some measure, it is a flaw, but maybe that's another topic, a very important topic to talk about in the next stream. Now, we're going to go straight to the giveaway. I just want to respect everybody that's in the chat and those that have found time to always be here. All you have to do is type # Chelsea Perspective in the chat. And remember, if you've won it before, you're not going to win it. It's only contestants that haven't won it before will get the chance to win it. So even if we have just 2 people here, we're going to facilitate the giveaway quickly before the game starts in 5 minutes. And we may not have time to say goodbyes, but let's just run the giveaway. Type # Chelsea Perspective so we can do the giveaway. Ankit, you're not there. Sorry, you've won it. Ty, just go to the chat, type in # or hashtag if you like Chelsea Perspective. Even if we have just 2 people, we'll run it. And whoever wins, you get an authentic Chelsea polo shirt or a cash equivalent if you win it. Hashtag, sorry, not #, hashtag Chelsea Perspective. I don't want to put mine there because it will add me to the list of contestants. So I'm waiting. I'm just going to run it. Even if we have just a single person in the chat, we have just 2 minutes.
Oh, I just want to test this.
Yes, it is # Chelsea Perspective. Just Viola, you need to retype it. Hashtag, let me speak the language everybody understands. Yeah, no capital letters, please. All small letters. Hashtag Chelsea Perspective. Steve Chelsea, you've won it before. No capital letters. I'm waiting before I run it. Yeah, that's correct. Ty, you did it correctly. Hashtag Chelsea Perspective. We have just 2 minutes. Correct, Just Viola. Are we waiting for anybody else or should I just run it? Ankit, what do you think? Run it? Because we're running out of time.
Yes.
Ankit, do you think I should run it?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, let's run it. Bobby, unlucky, he's just left, so I'm just going to run it. Start collecting. Draw. Just Viola. Finally, you've won an authentic Chelsea polo shirt. If you live in the UK or the United States, you get the shirt. But if you're outside the United States or the UK, you get the cash equivalent of the price, which is around $50. Congratulations to you, Just Viola. I will communicate with you to see. And if you have PayPal or if you have access to Western Union, you get your price cash equivalent as soon as possible. So Ankit, can you quickly plug in yourself and tell us what you think the result will be? And I will make sure to provide your complete information with that of Ty in the description section the moment the video is ready.
Sure, brother. So basically, as in obviously, all of you know that I am Ankit. You can find me as Almighty Blues FC, Almighty Space Blues Space FC on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Yes, we run a channel, mostly Chelsea, but a lot of EPL and UCL. And of course, today Chelsea is going to win. I initially went for 2-0, but I think considering the team, I think I'll go with 2-1. So it'll be a 2-1 away win for Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. That would be a good result. I want more goals though. And for you, Ty, what do you think?
Even though it's not the best team, or it's not the team that I would like to see, I understand why we're seeing this team. I am confident we're going to win the game, but I'm going to say 3-1. You can follow me on Twitter at Ty Talks, Ty_Talks, Ty Talks Chelsea Football Club on YouTube, and Ty Talks CFC on Instagram. That's
excellent. I will make sure. And these are all great content creators. Ty, even though he's still very young, but he knows football very well. And I urge you to go check out his content. You will thank me later. Same thing is my friend and my brother, Ankit from Almighty Blues FC. He has great content, great trivia show that you haven't seen anything close to it in the Chelsea community. You will love it. Go check out his content. And people will come to the end of the show today. Tell everybody else you know to always come join us in the pregame show. We often do giveaways, but today we wanted to do it with just a few people to respect those who's always come here to support us. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button to help us reach more people. I appreciate that, and I hope to see you guys in the next pregame show. Go Chelsea. Hopefully we will get a win today. See you all next time. It is bye from me and the panel. One love.